Hey everybody. My name is Kendra Eris and I am a beauty guide with Limelight by Alcone, and today I want to share something kind of exciting with you guys. I just got back from our Limelight corporate or our national conference that we have through Limelight. Most direct selling companies have a national conference of some kind, and ours this year was in Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas in July is as amazing as you imagine it to be. And I'm just really thankful for air conditioning and frozen yogurt. Anyway, we had a great time while we were there. And one of the coolest things that we learned about was, hey, Kayla, we learned about a new celebrity partnership with a major celebrity makeup artist. We've done this before. In fact, our first celebrity collaboration was with Lottie, and that was pretty amazing. It was a great collaboration. We had some amazing fun colors to work with, and it was really fun to bring her perspective and everything that she had to offer into our line, and it was certainly a reintroduction into the pro makeup artist community. So while we were at our annual conference, this Limelight Palooza as we call it, hey y'all, we were given the announcement that we would have a new celebrity endorsement. And when the artist that showed up on the camera, and this isn't really an endorsement, actually, that's the wrong word. It's definitely a collaboration, and this is why it's super important. Hi, Felicia. She and I had a chance to talk about this. So I'm going to start with a really funny story about bodybuilding. What does bodybuilding have to do? With all of this. So the woman that we're partnering with, I'm sorry, I didn't even get to that. The woman that we're partnering with, her name is Danessa Myricks. She is an African-American celebrity makeup artist that's worked with all the who's who's of anybody that's been a who's who celebrity. But that's not why she's important. At least not to me and not to the beauty industry at large and not to my African-American community friends. And let me just tell you, seeing their faces at Limelight Palooza when this was announced really solidified where we were going as a company. My story is about bodybuilding. Couple of years ago, and to this day, I do some makeup for bodybuilding competitions. But one of my friends, her name is Dawn. She is a bodybuilder or she was anyway, in my town, and she was going to Kansas City to do a bodybuilding competition, and I was going to do her makeup. I promise you, this has everything to do with African American beauty, and I just want to explain to you how this Caucasian woman living in the cornfields of Iowa got a really hard lesson on where the beauty industry sits with African American women. So we went to Kansas City and I was doing her makeup for her competition, and I didn't have a dark colored pressed powder. The makeup that I was using at the time I kind of needed it. She was going to get too oily and shiny on stage, and we were kind of in a time crunch. So now when bodybuilders go on stage, they have the really dark tan. And so I had told my husband, I'd asked him to go to, or he was going to a Walgreens or something. So I said, hey, while you're there, I need a really dark colored powder. So I showed him what my powder looked like. It said, I think it was just a CoverGirl powder. It doesn't matter what it was, but it was a powder. And I said, it's like this, except for it's going to be for like a black girl, not for me, and not for Caucasian girls. And he's like, oh, okay, like seems easy enough, right? We're in Kansas City. We're in a big city. So off he goes to the Walgreens. He comes back and I said, hey, did you get that powder I asked you for? And he was like, no, I couldn't find it. And he was like, and this is the funniest part of the story, y'all are going to die. He goes, I saw things that said CoverGirl and Maybelline, but nothing said Black Girl on it at all. And I was like, no. Oh my gosh. So I thought he was stupid. I was like, I can't believe he could not find this powder. So I went to the Walgreens myself and I start looking in some of the regular brands. The powder really didn't matter what brand it was for the project that I was working on. And right? That's what he said to me. That's funny, right? It's still funny. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. But what I learned was, because this was really one of the first times in my life as a makeup artist that I had to find a darker colored foundation. And for this particular project, when you're working on a dark dark spray tan. Like, it doesn't even have to be the right color. It just has to work because it's bad color anyway. The options to choosing a dark powder were pathetic. In a mainstream store in Kansas City where there's a significant African American population. So it made me very aware of the gap in dark colors for in the beauty industry. And as I've gotten more involved in makeup artistry, I have heard from the girls that I surround myself with in Limelight, from the African American community, that this really is a problem. Not only are the range of colors really crappy, but also that the color selection really makes feeling and looking beautiful and radiant impossible. So it's incredibly limited, and that's a problem. When Limelight first got started 2.5 years ago, we had a very limited selection of colors, and I remember a group of girls that were very vocal at the very beginning because our very first catalog had not a single African American woman in it or woman of any kind of color, and they spoke up. They spoke up and they said, we want to see darker skin represented in our catalog. We want to be able to speak to all colors and skin tones. And Limelight responded. And I was impressed by the way that they responded, because they didn't say, oh, calm down, sit down, this isn't a problem. They said, we hear you. And they made an improvement. And as time has gone on, the improvements are being made all over the place. So not only has our darker color foundation line is in the process of expanding to include more, thank you, Rashawn, to include more colors, but now they've made a point to partner with Danessa. And Danessa is not just a makeup artist. She's not just an African American woman makeup artist, but she's also a huge advocate for the African American beauty community. So she stands up and works with brands, all kinds of brands, to say, let me help you get the right colors in your brand so they can work on all skin tones. I like to tell people this. When you look at the colors black and white, the definition of black and white color is white is the absence of color and black is all of the colors combined. If you actually would like to make the color black, you can do it with our 3 primary colors. It's 3 parts blue, 2 parts red, and 1 part yellow make the color black. Black is inclusive of all colors, but it makes it hard then on darker skin tones for all colors to show up and to be vibrant and beautiful and to not have the wrong undertones, to look misrepresented of any sort of skin tone. Where on the other side of that, white is the absence of color. You can truly put just about any color on light skin, and it's a fair representation of the color. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense without sounding kind of crazy. But what it shows, what Danessa has been able to do, is to approach big makeup brands and say, let me help you bring some beautiful colors so women with darker skin tones can enjoy this makeup as well. It's really, really important, and it's really, really satisfying to be a part of a company that sees that and understands the importance of it, because most major brands are not recognizing this gap in the beauty industry. I'm not even sure how that's a thing, but I don't know. Last I checked my calendar, it was 2017. I'm not sure why this has been a gap in the beauty industry, but I'm really proud to be a part of a company and representing a company that's standing at the front lines and saying, we're not standing for this anymore. And we're going to make sure that beauty is, no matter how light or dark or in between your skin tone is, that you have the opportunity to have options and choose colors and feel beautiful. And I couldn't be happier that just 2.5 years in this company, they have decided to make that an immense priority. So, so Danessa, who was actually in Australia during our Limelight Palooza. She stayed up into the wee hours of the night and got all sorts of caffeinated to do a live broadcast with us and you could just see the smile on her face from ear to ear that she was super proud to be a part of this company, super proud to represent that and get the opportunity to bring this kind of information to the forefront. And, you know, as a Caucasian woman literally living in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa, this isn't something that I knew about until it smacked me across the face. And then after talking to a lot of makeup artists and just women in general, my African American friends, they're like, yeah, we can't just go anywhere. We have to get online. It's not easy to find colors that work. And I think that's rude. It's just straight up rude. We're not trying to be rude. It's 2017. Let's all get together on this. So anyway, I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention because I think we all need to be made aware. I hope that reality doesn't smack you in the face like it did me. And I hope that it brings, if you're a beauty guide, I hope it really lets you know and understand exactly where the priorities of this company lie. I'm from Amish country. I bet, girl. I lived in Amish country too. I mean, yeah, for real. I've had so many family members and friends not join just because of this. It's going to be huge. It really will be. And you know, it doesn't just speak to the African American community. It speaks to the Latina community, the Indian community, a lot of communities where darker skin tones are completely ignored. So it's exciting to be on the front of it. It's exciting to get to talk about it. Danessa's face and seeing how she was excited, how excited she was, and all of my African American friends that were at Limelight Palooza that were literally jumping out of their seats. I was like, what? They were so excited. And so you could just tell that it's going to make a huge difference for all of us. No matter what color you are. So I wanted to address it. I wanted you guys to know my funny story about my poor, yes, Felicia, you were one of them. My poor husband that could not find the black girl makeup in the Walgreens in Kansas City. And it's good stuff for all of us. So thank you. Thank you for watching and listening, and please share this with your networks. This is a really good opportunity for us all to take a stand, and maybe other brands will start listening. I mean, and make this a priority going forward. I think it would be amazing. So I will see you guys later. Have a good day.